This is recording 878. The name of this podcast is Listen Next 878. It's a part of my podcast series called Speaking to the CIA. And then my website is doing this intro. I'm like, but okay. So anyway, so my website is speakingtothecia.com or ChristinaStation918.com. I've got a lot to podcast, so I'm going to get through what most I can before the weekend starts. I'll try to get through this, but I'm just going to plug through this and then we'll go from there. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so here we go. Let me get to the one I was just on. Okay. All right, so something else, someone pointed this out to me in my brain. I was like, oh my gosh, she really did that. She never, like, I should not be shocked at this point, but I'm still always shocked. Okay, so the telephone, the old-fashioned telephone, okay, before we had cell phones that fit in our pockets, before cell phones at all, the older telephones, not the ones with how they started out looking, but like in the 70s and 80s, okay? All right, so they had the push button, so you had the base, and then you had the phone, and then you had the ringed cord, and then you had push buttons on the top of the phone. Okay, so the inside of the phone that the phone headset rests on, remember those little things that pop up that get you a dial tone? Okay, she used all that too. That's symbolic of her planning to do the World Trade Center attack in the future silent war. So it's a part of the base. It's not just the phone, which I was like, oh my gosh. Which, if you look at it again, because she connected her and her Manson occult / KKK, they did the World Trade Center. They committed a lot of terror attacks all over the world. Okay, but specifically here in the United States, the two most notable ones that she committed is the World Trade Center attack and Oklahoma City bombing. And like I said, all these terror attacks are all connected. They're all a part of her big terror plot that goes all the way back to Genesis, okay? So she is the one that actually did it. She tried to frame people overseas. She tried to frame the military. She tried to frame world government. They came on in my brain and mental telepathy years ago when I first started decoding this, and they were like, it's unreal. It's unreal. It's unreal. But anyway, so they've pretty much been on and off with me throughout these past 10 years. So they follow along. People around the world follow along, and it's much easier with my podcast because you can hear what I'm decoding directly. You don't have to depend on Gene Roberts out there running a Save the Kid campaign, masking that she's committed these terror attacks and forcing everybody in the United States to worship her and all her stupid, all the carnival crap that's going on to distract people from that she is a terrorist. Okay? She's trying to make money committing crimes so she can commit more terrorism. Okay, so anyway, all right, so if you look at the base again, people are pointing this out to me, like you're looking at the cradle and then you're looking at like the clear thing, and that also stands for ice, like little ice picks. But like the Oklahoma City bombing, how it was bombed, it's like a telephone. It's like the telephone handle, or the telephone that you hold up to your ear. It's the shape of a telephone. And if you look at the miniature part of this, on the cradle, you have the the clear part would be like where the explosion was, and then like the post or whatever would be like the Oklahoma City bombing the Alfred P. Murrah building. So the clear parts would either be it would be the two World Trade Centers. Okay. Maybe it's building 7. I don't remember. She crashed Tower 1, 2, and Building 7. But I don't remember the shape of Building 7 right now. I'd have to go research it again. Because I'm like, is there another... Because there's another side to this. So there's 2 sets of these. Because phone sits in the cradle. So is there another explosion that she has planned? Or have we already thwarted the terror attack? So... Anyway, the more I make reports against her, the less she can commit crimes. So this is a very good thing. And again, I'm waiting for you to arrest her. Again, I'm asking you to arrest JeanJernIganRoberts, the actual person, NavyGal27@yahoo.com. She has been stalking me. She's been stalking me my whole life. You know she's guilty for assaulting me. You know she's guilty for running a libel racket. You know she's a leader of Charles Manson. And that's what all these podcasts are, busting her and her cult / Ku Klux Klan. Okay, so anyway, continuing on. And then also I ask you, please... myself and my boys, we need to be in witness protection. This is not right to anybody. Like, I do nothing and let her follow me and gang stalk me and spread lies and assault me. And don't protect my children. My children are being stalked too. All of my family is being stalked because she's stalking my entire family, all my family on all sides. No, that's not ever going to happen. Jean is not going to be allowed to stalk my family. I'm never not going to say anything. I'm going to continue to turn in Jean. She has been stalking my family on both sides. I know you guys know that by going through on my podcast. Or witnessing her commit terrorism and not saying anything. And then letting her make money running a libel racket pretending to save kids as her frickin' canopy of, like... I mean, oh my God. She's like, she's... You guys know the CIA obviously knows what running a racket is. But for the rest of you out there, because this was new to me... You know what running a racket means? It means you commit the crime, and then you run to the other end, and you cash in on the end. So you act like you're the hero of the crime. So you commit the crime, you plan the crime, you execute the crime, and then you run to the other end, acting like you're the hero of the crime. That's a racket. That's what Jean does. She literally commits crime and then runs around acting like the hero. So everything that she clamors about, which is all lies, which disguises her actual activities, her actual money-making activities for the past 60 years, in which she has been afforded to on her own by stealing artificial intelligence and with her Manson occult and Ku Klux Klan, has been able to commit terror attacks and try to continually bring people. All for pre-planning of the future, which is not past because I started figuring this out 10 years ago, but this doesn't ever end until she is apprehended. It doesn't end. So the world, along with the United States, has to sit and watch Jean act like she's the new queen of the United States of America, and President Trump is just a camera piece. He's just there for speeches. And it's really Jean Roberts and her Manson occult and her Manson sisters and the Bell girls or whatever, the Alexander Graham Bell descendants who are just as bad as her. I bet they are at the top of Charles Manson with her. So, like, she needs to be apprehended. So why is that fair for everybody to suffer in death and suffer in continually knowing what's going on and nothing being done about it? Because I continually make reports against her. And I know the situation. I know that she is holding people hostage. I know she's pretending to save people. You know exactly what Jean Roberts is guilty for by what her little outlet is. Who is she pandering to? Who is she like, oh my God, let's go do a thing. Oh my God, let's do that. Oh my God. Then you know exactly what she's guilty for. She's running a hostage racket. I know that. But still, you could get me and my boys into witness protection where I can, make the rest of reports against you and you can give us a different life, a new life that was stolen from us, stolen from me from before I was born. As you guys know, what she pre-planned to do. It's just not this. None of this is it's upsetting. Okay, so the next thing is, Steppenwolf. Okay, so back to the Death to Pigs. So the Charles Manson murders. Okay, the group Steppenwolf. Okay, so wolf backwards is flow. I wanted to point that out. And then Steppen, Steppen. And then also Penn is in Stephen. Okay. So she killed Stephen Parent. All right. Stephen Parent is one of the Charles Manson victims in the late 60s. Okay. And she planned to kill him. All these victims are all sacrifices. Okay. So it tells you how far back she's pre-planning for. And then also Scorpio child is in what you got to see all SP code. The SP code is astronomical. It's in here. It's in my podcast. It's insane. Okay, so she pre-plans to do all of this. Okay, she pre-plans for my birth. She stalks me. She traffics me. She assaults me. She makes money at it. And then she tries to racket it in the future, making even more money at it. She commits terrorism. It's total chaos, okay? I've decoded so much of Charles Manson. It's insane. Okay, so I want to point out something else. So Stephen Parent, his name, what's in his name? The first two letters, ST. And then you have the first letter of his last name, P. So what's there? Stop. Her little demon and then you have the O, which is missing. What is she doing here? I'm getting ready to tell you. She's running a racket. She's a terrorist. She is a trafficker. She is a criminal beyond anything in this world. She is horrible. Okay, I'm going to tell you more what she's doing, which I've already told you this before, but I'm telling you, here's even more. So stop. The word stop is in Stephen Parent. Okay, so what is the opposite of stop? Go. How do you spell go in French? And remember, Vicky Government. And remember, she pre-plans for me I decode all this. She pre-plans for me to move to New Orleans. New Orleans, hello, I love you. I'm sorry, she's controlling my speech, even making me go, hello, I love you. You guys already know that. And see, even her controlling my speech right there. I can't even talk. That's because I'm saying hello to New Orleans. So Jean's right there. She's just gonna mother and love them. What they've always wanted is 6'2" white supremacists. Just I'll just control Christina, okay? You need to go to jail, Jean. Anyway, so the opposite of go, the opposite of stop is go. All right. So go in French is Geaux. So the AU, and then what's the first two letters of gold? GO. So she's making gold at killing people and abusing people and running rackets. Okay, and so this is all a part. So she's using the stop and go theme, okay, and she's using red, yellow, and green. Okay, you know the yellow goes back to Nostradamus. It goes all the way back. This is Nostradamus is a part of this, going all the way back in history. So it doesn't just start with Jean in the 60s. This goes all the way back with their predecessors, all the way back to Genesis. And Nostradamus, her and her predecessors in her cult used Nostradamus as the roadmap. And you know how you know that she did it? Because if you ask her, she'll blame someone else. It's always someone else's fault. Jean didn't do anything. Everything is everyone else's fault. Now just do what she says. Anyway, this is not anybody else's doing. This is her Manson occult / Ku Klux Klan, and this goes all the way from into her predecessors out through history. So the yellow, that goes to Nostradamus. It also goes to the Marine Corps. The flowers that they use, the yellow rose of Texas, the friendship, and that yellow stands for friendship. And then modern day, she's using, or we use yellow as the triangle sign for yield. But even look at that, yield. What does yield mean? It means, no, I'm not talking about slowing down, don't run the red light. I'm talking about yield. What does that mean? It means you're prospering, you're yielding, you're like, if you're a farmer, you're yielding in crops. You got a bunch of crops. You're hauling it in. Your yield. Even that, yield and shield. And then Sharon Tate, she freaking did that too. So she's got a whole red, yellow, and green theme, okay, which goes to traffic signals. Now, as I've already told you in previous podcasts, I decoded this years ago when I was in Slidell, where all that goes all the way back. I traced it back through my childhood, all the way back into the early 1900s, and I traced it back to the invention of the traffic light in 1920. And then, going back even further, I found out, by decoding even more, it's Gestapo. Or it's part of, I know Gestapo is connected to the traffic light. And I can't remember now, I have to go back and look at my podcast or at my decode. But it's connected. I don't know if they're part of the same people that invented the traffic lights or if they're happening in the same time frame range, but the two are related. So Gestapo, so she's using Gestapo to go with stop. Okay, so Gestapo has Stephen Parent's name in it. Okay, so also in the word flow is follow and then follower. Okay, remember Charles Manson is an occult. And then also I want to point out, someone pointed this out to me. They're like, look, Welch. Then this is what off of my previous podcast. It's the only previous podcast. Okay, Welch, like Welch's, the grape jelly Welch's. Okay, Welch. Okay, she's connecting that to Waco. Welch goes to Waco. Those cross-reduce together too. And Welch, I told you, is a street in, I don't know what it has to do with Dallas, Texas, but I know Dallas, Texas knows, then that would connect to, that connects to Waco, Texas, or Branch Davidian occult. Jean Roberts and a couple of her Manson sisters started the Branch Davidian occult with David Koresh. But Jean got away with it. And so did her Manson sisters. She commits all these crimes and she gets away with it because she runs out acting like she's a cop. She's not a cop. How many of you guys know any FBI or CIA agent like that? What is she going to claim she's Tom Cruise for Mission Impossible? Like, what is this? She's a freaking criminal. She is in a cult. They're an cult of criminals. She's not a cop. And I told her I was going to turn her in for committing terrorism and running trafficking rings for 60 years, and committing treason, and for running libel rackets. I mean, she knew I was going to turn her in. And what is one thing I told her? You're not walking out of Waco on this one. You're not getting away with it. You got one person in jail. You need the other one in jail. Jean Jernigan Roberts and her Manson sisters. Anyway, so if you cross-reduce the Welch and Waco, you get DVL, so obviously that's double. And then if you put ES, in parentheses, and then AOUP, so you have Coop, you have Devil's Soup, and she uses dim sum soup, and I've decoded that on her Charles Manson wine bottle she kept on my dad's wet bar, where it said, I love me some drum major, and I decoded it all out and found out she was leader Charles Manson. You're going to see all my podcasts, I'll decode on that. So you can see that she's using that. She's also using pea soup exorcist. She's using hiccup. So see all my podcasts on hiccups, probably in the older podcasts. I've already talked about it's from my childhood in grade school. So you're going to go back to that. And then, of course, the high C. And then, see all decode high C. And then, high C connects to presidents that she was stalking and assassination plots. And it also connects to her pre-planning to do the World Trade Center attack and a whole bunch more. Also, cholera is in this. And then coup d'etat is in this. Acoustic is in this, stick is in this, account is in this, no valor is in this. She thinks it's funny. I decoded her ciphers of her planning to commit stolen valor and her bragging about committing stolen valor in the ciphers. So no valor, and then Advil. She has Advil in this. She probably added that in later. Because that's what I took in my second suicide attempt. I don't know how she probably already had it in there, and she's probably making some dirty deal with somebody somewhere that had something to do with Advil, acting like they're a rep for the whole company. And then she iced me to commit suicide or attempt to commit suicide using Advil, making a Advil commercial for Advil. So, anyway, Devil's Soup, and then Vin Diesel is in it, Diesel Jeans is in it, Vaughn is in it, East Amherst is in it, Depew is in it, the housing crash of 2008 is in it, which means this cipher that I just decoded what I could get out of it, is older than 1995. It's older than the Oklahoma City bombing, because she planned to crash the houses. She planned to crash the housing market bubble before the Oklahoma City bombing. So I know these ciphers go before the Oklahoma City bombing. So also, I needed to bring up Mitch from Daily Buzz again. I don't remember why. I probably were trying to make a correction off of something I said. She probably iced me to say something else or whatever. Somebody else pointed out something to me about attorneys at law. It looks like it says a tour New York outlaw. And I was like, well, she probably did that too. So that is it for this recording, and then I'll do another one.